sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
So how did you go from turntables to Beat Wizard?
Oh man, Beat Wizard. Wow, thanks a lot. Turntables to Beat Wizard. I just was DJing for so long that I just got kind of not really bored with it, but I just felt that I just wanted to do something more than just DJ, and I just got more into the production side of things. I wanted to know how did what was the process of those beats that I was spinning on records? How were they made? And I wanted to get into that aspect of the music producing.
Do you think your first track was sellable?
My first track, the first beat I ever made, was it sellable? I would say no. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. No, it wasn't. Because a lot of them weren't sellable. It took a while. It took a long time to groom and learn how to do those beats. Like it took years to really hone it and master it.
How did it feel to sell? Like, know somebody wanted to pay for one of your beats, like the first beat you sold.
How did it feel when I first sold my first track to an artist? It felt pretty good, it was wonderful actually, because it was now going from my room to the world. It went from my bedroom in Queens in my parents' house to now the whole world hears my music that I'm making from this one room. It was incredible. That feeling was incredible.
Who's your idol? Like
who are my idols? My idols, as far as production, I would have to say Marley Marl, Mark the 45 King. I would say Diamond D, Lord Finesse.
You think the game has changed?
Far as what? Far as the game changing as far as what? The music game? Or?
The music game, like
you can't change your character. Whoever y'all pick.
I mean, the game is still the same. I mean, the music game, I think it's still the same, but like the people, the people that are in the game, they kind of changed it. They kind of changed it in their own little way, but I think the game itself is still the same. The process is within the game structure. As far as the music game structure is different because of the people involved, but the game, I still believe the game itself is still the same. The music hip hop game is still the same.
Quality is same?
You saying as opposed to sending in your demo into the mail into a label 20 years ago, now you gotta know somebody to get up in the label.
Yeah, because of the people, because of the people that are involved in the music industry. As far as like the hip hop industry, we're talking about. We're not talking about any other industry but that. So the game really hasn't changed. It's changed, but it hasn't changed. You can find
what do you mean when you say the game? Are you talking about like
the structure?
You find that it's out of balance at all? There's more of one type of hip hop as opposed to all aspects.
I would have to say there's definitely there is a shift. There's a balance. The balance is off. If it was a seesaw, let's say it's a hip hop seesaw. If it was a seesaw, and there was one type of hip hop on one side of the seesaw and another type of hip hop on the other side of the seesaw, I would say the seesaw is like
tilted,
like this, like this.
Is there a push to go commercial?
Huh?
Is there a push to like go on commercial with beats and? It seems like nowadays everything pretty much sounds
the same.
Running fast is easy.
You feel pressure sometimes?
Honestly, I don't feel pressure because it's like, to be honest with you, I don't even make beats for artists. I don't even make the beats I make. The beats I make, I don't make them for the artists. I make them because I like just making beats and I like the way they sound. So I'm not really tailoring my music to the artists. I'm just making music or tracks.
That's how you
and they just happen to like them.
That's how you do your special punch.
But I mean, it's just got to come back. The music game, it's lost its balance, and there's a lot of people and voices. What? What's
Where do you see hip hop in 20 years?
Wow, that's a good question. Hip hop in 20 years. I can't even answer that question. I wish I could.
Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Where do I see myself in 20 years? I say, I don't know. I mean,
Oh, you punched me.
I probably would still be doing music, but I'd be, probably into more like doing like movie soundtracks, scores. Like I want to do entire movie scores. I want to kind of move away from just doing production on people's albums and like, stuff like that. I want to move into like TV and, video games and, movie soundtracks. Probably, maybe even starting up my own label or, the sky's the limit. I might not even, I don't know. I don't know. I might
There
be
you go.
doing,
If you weren't doing music, what could you see yourself doing?
I'd probably be doing art, graphic design or something like that. Clothing line. I'd probably have like some type of fashion line or something, That was my first love before the music was art anyway. So the beat that I guess I enjoyed creating and working with an artist, collaboration wise, I would have to say, it's kind of tough because there's so many. Rakim. I would have to say the track I had produced for Rakim a couple years back that was supposed to be on the soundtrack movie for The Wash, but it didn't make it to the movie soundtrack. But nevertheless, it was a hot record. And just being in the studio with Rakim was a great experience. So, for the public, that was my personal experience. For the public, I would have to say most. I'd have to say most. The song I did with most. That's the one that the public really enjoyed that I did, and kind of got my foot in the door after that.
How did you?
And The Life with Farrell and Styles.
How did you come to make that connection?
My manager at the time, how I linked up with Mos Def, my manager at the time, I think he met him. He told me he met him at a club on a random night at a club, and he had my material on me, on him. He had the beats that I made on him at the club, and he just approached Mos with drinks in hand and was like, look, I got something you need to hear. And Mos sat it down, was like, what you got? And next thing you know, they're in the club playing music while they're in the club. He's got the headphones on. He's like, here you go, Mos, or whatever. And gave him the headphones, threw them on. He liked them. He was like, I'm in the studio in a couple of weeks. Tell him to come to the studio, bring the machine, bring the beats. And that was that. He liked what he heard. It was really simple. It was kind of simple.
Do you consider yourself a quote-unquote underground or quote-unquote conscious producer, or do you consider yourself open to whomever, whatever, wherever, as long as they're nice?
If Paris Hilton was like, yo.
No, for real. Like, if, Lil Jon was like, yo, Total, we heard some stuff, we love it. I got some bread. Can you do a track for the East, what are they called? The East Side Boys or whatever. Would you do it? Or are you strictly, say, C-Ray's Waltz and that type of... I'm open to whatever. I'm open. I'm not gonna discriminate. It's it's all music. As long as the music's good at the end of the day that me and those artists create, then it's cool. I'm not gonna discriminate. Okay. Do you find yourself pigeonholed or boxed in by that?
I don't find myself pigeonholed. I mean, it's here. Whomever wants to create with me, then we can create. I'm not pigeonholing myself. The sky's the limit. You
have any advice for producers?
Do I have any advice for producers, for new up and coming producers? Just be creative. Use your mind. Use your creativity for for the betterment of the music. Use your creativity for all the up and coming producers. Be original, and you'll be successful in the music career.
All right, I think that's it.
Any last words?
Any last words?
Anything you want to
to leave people with?
After this, we picking you.
Love life.